You probably don't know why I love to fish, but it's because of moments like this. Brutal seas, making you question your own stomach. Great weather, great moments, great company, great f***ing fishing. Check it out as me and my buddy Shane get after it. We took a day-and-a-half trip on H&M Landing's Ocean Odyssey, got our limits of mahi, boated a tuna, and had an all-around righteous time chasing a sometimes impossible goal, getting bit. Anyways, let's lighten up. My first fish of the day was a nice mahi-mahi, caught on pretty light gear. A Penn Fierce 3 3000 on a medium-heavy St. Croix Mojo inshore spinning rod. The fishing was wide open, so no magic behind getting hooked up here. But just the same, damn, that was a nice cast. Let's see it again. I really prefer the underhand flip to overhand casting on a big boat like this, where you're mostly fishing into the wind, and that was a pretty good one. My bait was in the water for probably a minute, about as long as I usually like to wait before a change. Then I got bit.
Fighter!
Give it a second or two before you close the bail or lock your drag, whatever method you're using. Give the fish a couple seconds to run, and don't try to set the hook. Just hang on and let the hook set itself. As you can see, my drag was ridiculously loose. And I'm lucky I didn't lose this girl at the start. With big pelagic saltwater fish like this, I prefer a looser drag, but this was a little much. If your drag is too tight, it can lead to the same result as trying to force a hook set. You're gonna pull the bait right out of your trophy's mouth. Still, my drag is too loose. This is a bass rig I'm using here, and this little dodo kind of punished me for it. But man, that's half the fun, isn't it?
Yeah!
That's me reacting to the fish jumping a couple times, which unfortunately was not captured by my GoPro. Anyways, anybody can go out there and rake fish with overpowered gear. My buddy Shane landed a bluefin earlier this summer on like 8 or 12 pound test or something ridiculous like that.
I got color on the bow.
If you don't know anything about saltwater fishing, the technique here is called fly lining. You basically put a hook into a live bait like an anchovy or a sardine or a mackerel and let it swim till some bigger, tastier fish comes along and eats it. And this beautiful fish continues to make me regret my decision to cast with bass gear, as my rod is bent nearly in half and I'm reminded I also need to work on my cardio. Anyways, after about 3 minutes of getting owned by this Dorado, I got her near enough to the boat for a gaff and score, my first dodo ever, which technically also makes this a personal best video.
Yeah, nice gaff, buddy. Thank you, bro. Right on. Cool, man. Thank you. 26.
So here we are on the next bite, going to grab my gear, and whoops, somebody knocked somebody's gear down and left it laying on the deck. Let's put that away like a good Samaritan. And Jesus, it looks like somebody kicked my rig too. No worries, let's grab it. and situate ourselves. Let's mosey around to the bow. Maybe there's some room down the right side of the boat to go grab a... No, that is pretty crowded. So let's just travel through time and space until we're pinning a bait on. And then, as every good captain advises, run the length of a pitching ship as fast as you possibly can to cast your baits. And we're going to pause just to point out this little piece of kelp. This little indistinguishable looking turd out here has hundreds of fish underneath it, and that's what we're after. So I'll pitch it out, and what the f*** was that? The sardine is literally looking at me like, what are you doing, bro? Terrible cast replay. Thank you. But I've got a bait in the water. And one more pause, just to point out this kelp. This is a kelp patty, ladies and gentlemen. This was a short soak. I think less than 10 seconds from terrible cast to hook up. Again, no hook set, just a couple seconds of free spool and hold on tight.
Spider on the bow!
I'm kind of glad I packed up the bass rig for something a little heavier here. This will be better evidenced when you see my rod bent in half over the rail fighting what is really a very small tuna.
Beautiful!
So here I'm using a Penn Spinfisher 6 6500 combo. I've caught larger yellowfin and bluefin on this rig that didn't put up nearly the fight as this little fella. This fish didn't feel anything like that first mahi, so I started peeking over the rail for color and any sign of what I was fighting. Also panting. JB, let's get after that cardio.
Color on the bow?
Look at that rod. That's what it's all about right there. I still have no idea what the hell I'm fighting. When it finally broke the surface.
Oh, I got a tuna! I got a tuna up here! Get up on the rail. Get up. Get that on. Get on the rail. Yep. Thank you, bro.
Yellow thing.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Good gaff. Yeah.
The sea was angry that day, my friends, but so were we. Fishing is great because sometimes it seems f***ing impossible. You go 1,000 casts without a fish, and then one day, when you've given up all hope or faith or belief that you can accomplish anything at all in the world, you strike gold. You should try it sometime. Shout out H&M Landing, the captain and crew of the Ocean Odyssey, and all the fine anglers that shared this experience.